Paul, very successful weekend for the Devils up in Scotland. 6 points, 3 wins in 3 days. You must be really pleased.
Oh, absolutely over the moon. Spoke to G this morning, around about lunchtime, let him sort of recoup first of all, but absolutely overwhelmed. I mean, we always knew the third game was going to be tough. I mean, all 3 games are going to be tough with the travelling, as we well know. I mean, over the past few seasons, we've not particularly been that brilliant when we've travelled. We've kept all our sort of great performances at home in many respects, but that 7-1 at Sheffield, of course, which goes down in as one of my best ever games. But no, really pleased. And I think the guys have just been outstanding, and the support up there was absolutely phenomenal. You know, and to get the numbers that we got up there, there's quotes of sort of 300 plus fans travelling is absolutely fantastic. And certainly from G's point of view, he made it clear to me this morning that, you know, that was the extra player or 2 or 3 that we needed to sort of just push us over the line. So really pleased.
Now the guys were able to make a base camp up there for a couple of days, and they were able to enjoy themselves a little. They went to the zoo, I think, a couple of boys, rounded golf. Can't have been anything other than positive towards helping them with good performances. Is something like the triple header something that you'd actively look to do again in future seasons?
I think it goes bigger than that, because you know we're all aware of the financial issues upon the club, but moving forward now we've got to start thinking around how we travel, whether we can afford to stop over, whether we can actually try and tie 2-3 games in at once. And if you plan it well, you know, it can work in our favour. And I think it's nice to do 2 or 3 of those a year anyway. It gives the fans something extra to look forward to in terms of an away trip. It's a great way. I mean, we really bonded up there in a major way, and the guys bonded, the team did in general, and so did obviously the fans as well. So I think there's a lot to be gained from just a bus up and a bus back, as we have to experience this weekend coming. But we'll certainly look at that and plan better with our fixtures next year, I think. So.
Now you mentioned being down a couple of bodies. One of those is Max Beerbright, who's having his surgery today, and obviously we all wish him well.
Yeah.
Is it a possibility that we might look to bring some cover in for Max?
Yeah, it's a really difficult one. I've been talking to G about it this morning. Both G and Franny over the weekend. You know, we've got to bring the right type of guy in. There's no point just bringing another body in or another player in. At the same time, you know, we've talked about the development ongoing this year. This season very much been development. But that said, you know, it's so tough at the top at the moment. I think it's going to be a real fight in terms of getting to the playoffs, and of course we've still got these 2 massive games to come. So we do have a player that we are looking at quite seriously, but at the same time we're hoping we're going to get Mark back. He started skating now. Mark Smith back, yeah, sorry, ahead of playoffs. Obviously there's Maxie's out, and thank God we found out what we found out. We wish him a huge recovery, and really hope he gets back to us next season. But also we've then obviously got the issue with Brad, and we're just waiting to hear. I'm waiting to hear this evening an update from him, and that's the one really, because of course if we get Brad back and we get Mark back, we're actually at a full quota anyway with Jamie coming in. So we're just holding fire a minute to see what we're going to do. But as I said at the forum, I'm keen to strengthen the side, but it's got to be for the right reasons, and we've got to make sure we don't just end up asking guys to leave as quick as they arrive. So getting a full understanding of where we are, the injuries, is important.
Now, investing in the team with players obviously comes at the back end. Then you need attendance to support that.
Yeah.
So things like the Bring a Buddy scheme is still valid for season ticket holders,
yeah.
And we've got a midweek game tomorrow against Steelers. How's that going? And how much more would you like from the Bring a Buddy scheme?
Well, I think we owe it to the guys. We owe it to the club. I mean, we've worked very hard to get the club back into the position it needs to be in. It's all positive thinking now. It's all positive discussions going forward. The fact that we're sat here today thinking about bringing a player in says a lot, when this time last year we were thinking about getting rid of players some months later. So it is a very different position. We need to support the team. We must remember we're playing significantly less in terms of what other teams are paying in terms of wages. And if we want to be successful, the crowd plays such a huge part, because we're punching above our weight. There is a cost element to that, but I'm prepared to support it as long as the crowd are doing their bit. And so far, certainly since the turn of the new year, and that fantastic result we had against the Steelers
on the 23rd.
On the 23rd, I mean, that's exactly the type of support that we should be getting, and we need to build that momentum, because the new stadium, we need that place full. There won't be a place like it, I don't think, in British ice hockey in terms of atmosphere, as long as we fill it. So now's the time for everybody. Everyone's got to pull together and make sure we just bring somebody along, and I'll be doing it, and I just hope the season ticket holders and all fans go to do the same thing.